Okay, everyone, welcome to Forex Market Mondays. So we devote this entire day to Forex and to cryptocurrencies because what I do every Monday is I just set my alerts for areas of interest, stocks that I'm interested in, completely systematically, some based off some back tests that I'm working on, and just try to wait and see when the alerts are triggered. If I like what I'm seeing, I will take the trade then and there. So starting off just with the dollar index, this thing's just absolutely ripping still, getting close to these prior highs right here. Very overextended. Makes me think that it might be time, if we just put on like a stochastic or something, time to look for a there, stochastics. Yeah, very overbought here. Try to look for some sort of a pullback or some sort of a break. Doesn't mean that I think things are necessarily going to happen right now, but maybe we get a little bit of a push into the 106 or something like that, and then we get a bit of a pullback. Again, doing shorter term trades on here, so I'm not crazy interested in taking big bets. Now we have gold just kind of completely breaking down, right? Hit our extension over the last few weeks. We took a short there. So far, that's working. It seems like it's just now that the election's over, volatility is getting removed from the market, and we're seeing that here in this as well. So, push down happening. I'm going to watch this kind of 106 or 206 area, and then maybe this 2500. So 2600 and 2500 just in this zone. If we start to get in there, and then on the 1 hour chart, it looks like we're starting to shore up. I think that's an interesting bet. Now, when it comes to the rest of these, they're all going to the dollar is the thing that's moving the markets right now. So it doesn't make sense to dive into each of these individual dollar denoted securities too much because you're really just playing the dollar. So my focus with that is usually the euro because it just has the biggest weighting versus the dollar. So you could do the euro or the pound, but it just looks like the opposite. Take that Dixie chart and flip it, and that's kind of what you're seeing here. Uh, Interesting to see, and I'm still watching this pound yen just to see if we do get a breakdown here as we start to slowly kind of push back up. This is underperforming that move we've seen over the last couple days in the dollar. So it means that there is some strength in the yen that's actually pushing up at the same time the dollar is. So this is something I'm going to take a look at, but we're just stuck inside a range right now, right? I want to see kind of a breakout to this 156 area, or if we break down and we're hanging out with these 151 lows, but this is just in a range. To be honest, again, the entire currency or FX space just relies on this chart right here. When is this chart going to take a little breath and start to push lower? Who knows? We have CPI and a bunch of stuff later in the week. Maybe that will be the tail. Now, looking at Bitcoin, because this is a currency like anything else. I'm not doing anything with Bitcoin right now. I've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks that I bought a little bit down in this area right here, in the 50,000 area. I bought a little bit more on this breakout because I had just had stop limits out here. So I am good with around a 55 to $60,000 average. I'd have to check it out. It's across a couple accounts. And I'm just trying to stay away from it, trying to let it work. When we get to kind of the 90s, if we get to the high 90s, it's probably where I'll start to take a bunch of my position off, keeping just a core little bit just forever at this point, probably, or until we get the next crypto bear market, and I'll try to get out and use that capital somewhere else. But there's no signs of this thing stopping at all. So I'm not going to be the one to get in its way. So 82,000, great. 100,000 seems to be the target that everybody is thinking about. Everybody's thinking about $100,000. So that makes me also want to look at that. It just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If everybody in the world is looking to sell Bitcoin at $100,000, I'll probably be selling at $95,000 and just sell most of my position there, wait for some sort of other pattern to take place. But it looks like we're getting the rally right now in Bitcoin. If it reverses and it starts to look like it's going to threaten my entry, I'm going to just cut it and try to figure out what's going on next. Did see a little bit of a move here in Ethereum, trying to catch up, but I just can't play the dog. This thing has just been the dog. I needed this to do the same thing that happens with Bitcoin. I needed to challenge this kind of $4,000 area and win. because this thing's just been relatively weak to everything else. It seems like this is a Bitcoin play. Some of the meme coins are doing great, but it seems to be a focus on Bitcoin play. Solana is the other trade that I took. We looked at a little bit this on the weekend report. I had a nice breakout last week, so I own a little bit of this, doing the same thing I am with Bitcoin. If this thing can break all-time highs and start to shoot for this around 300 area, that's probably where I'm going to take a majority of the position off, holding a little bit. When I say forever, I just mean following the trend, but locking in those profits. So Doge is something that I wish I got involved in, but I didn't. I talked about it a lot. Breaking this high right here, this anchored view app from all-time highs, it popped above that. So what I'm watching in Doge is to see if we get a little bit of a pullback and we start to hold that anchored view app from all-time highs around 23 to 25 cents. I'm interested in maybe getting involved if that then starts to resolve higher again. That's my plan for Dogecoin. So in the traditional currency world, it is entirely about the dollar index. In the cryptocurrency world, it's entirely about Bitcoin. We just need to see this Bitcoin move in order, or we need to see it continue in order for it to pull everything else up. But right now, I've got Bitcoin and Solana because those are the winners. I want to be in the winners because they're usually the ones that continue to win. I need to see more action in these losers before I can kind of jump ship and look for a trade there.